I'm excited to chat with you because you have this incredible new song slash album out right now. How do you tend to describe your sound though? Is there a way that you do? Is it indie pop? Is it pop music? Is it pop rock?
Well, the album's not out that yet. The album comes out in September. So we have two singles out. One came out today. Um, I don't really know anymore how to categorize the kind of music I make. I used to just say indie rock. But with this new stuff, it feels um like that's not accurate necessarily anymore because we used to just be like I mean we still are like a four-person band. We have a keyboard player now who plays with us live, but um it used to just be like we have our guitars, we're just gonna like get what we get and record in the studio and see what happens. But we've been experimenting more with like auto tune and synths and like just different instruments. And I think that everyone that I make music with is, inspired by so many different genres of music, um that we're kind of, instead of putting ourselves in a box and trying to just make um like indie rock, whatever, we're trying to just make something that sounds good and cool. So I really don't know how I would describe it. I guess like maybe it's leaning more pop, this album. Um, but yeah, I guess it's, I mean, I don't, it's some under some umbrella of like indie alternative, whatever.
It sounds like quite a departure though from your debut album, Dreamtina.
Yeah, sonically, it definitely does feel like a departure. I remember kind of in the early stages of conceptualizing this album, I was like, okay, I want it to feel like I love Dream Tina so much. I'll always love that album. I wanted this one to feel like a kind of like darker, like sexier older sister of Dream Tina. And it's a little like I think the subject matter is a little darker. I'm getting like a little more personal and it feels less like cute and a little bit more like real or something. I think I also like wrote it in a time where I was feeling kind of sad. So um, yeah, it feels definitely more personal.
Who are some artists that influenced you when you were growing up?
Um, I feel like something, I mean, I loved music always when I was like really little. I loved like Sheryl Crow and like Hilary Duff and Avril Lavigne. And then when I got a little older, I remember like middle school, like eighth grade, like discovering Regina Spektor and like Fiona Apple and like Kate Nash. And then a little older, I got into like Joni Mitchell and like Liz Phair. I really, really loved listening to music that was um by women because I it was kind of like a way for me to come into my own identity and like hearing girls write songs about what they were experiencing and feeling. Um some of that stuff I had never really heard anyone talk about before. So it really like was such a like way into these artists like brains, and it made me kind of feel, okay about things that I was feeling, or kind of, I felt so I identified with it so much, even at a really early age when I think a lot of the stuff that they were singing about was not anything that I had experienced yet. I really just like felt so connected to women that were writing specifically about like the female experience.
Well, this new song you have out now must be getting a lot of response from your fans. What have they been saying as their reactions?
Well, so French Resistance came out a little over a month ago, and this new song just came out today. So I don't really Angel, the one that came out today, I haven't I've heard like a couple of things, but it's still only 1 p.m. So I don't really know what the reaction is. It's scary because that song especially is like so dark and so personal. And I really hope people like it and aren't like freaked out by it. French Resistance, the response has been so great. I made a video with my friend Emma Kraft, and she just went like above and beyond. And like we had so many amazing people on set that worked on it with us, and the response to that was like incredible. I mean, I knew it would be because I was so blown away by the video. But they really helped like give the song a boost too. It's really nice when you can um have a visual element that like gets people to pay attention to it,
Mhm.
especially as like a an indie artist. It can be hard to make something that's so visually engaging on a budget, but they did an incredible job.
Well, what's your songwriting process like? Do you tend to have a lyric before you can have music, or do you need to have sort of a beat crafted before you can come up with lyrics for everything?
Yeah, it takes me a really long time to write a song. I'm so jealous of people who I have a lot of friends that are songwriters as well, and a lot of them are really disciplined about it, and they can just sit down and like um just make something every day, and then they'll have like 200 songs and like, find 12 to put on an album. I have never been able to work that way. I I feel kind of like I'm either just in it or I'm not. Like my antennas are always up. I'm always like looking for ideas and I'm always writing stuff down. Um, but I have to be in a really specific mood to feel like I can write, and a lot of the time it feels like it's out of my control. There's definitely things that I do to like trigger the feeling. Just like walking around and listening to stuff is helpful. I write better at night. I stay up late writing often. I'm journaling all the time. So sometimes I get ideas there, and I'm always like writing stuff in my notes app that I'm eventually like pulling from when I finally do have feel like I'm in the right space to sit down and write. But yeah, I'm still kind of learning my process because I do want to get better at like making myself like it feels like at this point it's like, okay, this is, my business. I should be able to like make content. I'm still learning how to make something that I'm proud of, kind of like on a cue, but creativity is weird. It doesn't always work like that.
Right? How much of a hand do you tend to have then on the production side of the music you make?
Um, so I, write every song either on guitar or piano. I'll make like a voice memo of it, really, really simple. And then we record most everything ourselves. And we'll book like we've been doing, especially with this record, we booked like a week at a time in different places. We started at Electric Lady Studios and tracked some stuff there. We got a week in last winter at my drummer Mati's studio in Ridgewood. And then we did a week at my parents' house in Martha's Vineyard, which is where we recorded most of Dream Tina. Um, so then I'll just go in like with the demos. Everyone's heard them already. And then I'll take a couple references from different songs and, kind of like loosely be like, maybe it would be cool if the guitar sounded like this, or maybe, like this kind of like vibe. And then Mati and Nardo and Zoe will kind of have their own ideas for it. And often like I'm just like, oh, that's way better than what I said. Like, let's go with that. They really like, especially with this album, because it's so much more ambitious sonically, like brought so much to the songs stuff that I wasn't hearing when I wrote them. But just like really like lifted them up and made them sound so cool. So they're definitely like it's my name, but it's a band. Like we're they're so much as part of the project as I am.
With Slot Machine amassing over 500,000 streams on Spotify, and you have it in this upcoming movie, I wish you all the best. How does that make you feel?
Really good. I love that song. It's so funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. I think I wrote that song in like 2019. And it's so simple. It's like three chords. The lyrics are kind of silly. I love it. It's just like kind of like vibey and cool. And sometimes I'm like, oh, like that's what works sometimes. Like you don't as a song doesn't have to be like this great, like amazing masterpiece with this like really unique chord progression. You can kind of just like play like E, A, and D and like call it a day and people will respond to it. So yeah, I think that that song is also a good representation of like who I am as an artist. I like the lyrics of it. It feels like kind of a good like thesis song for Dream Tina. So I'm really happy that that was kind of the one that people really took I don't know what I'm saying. People really responded to it.
You have a lot of upcoming live performances here shortly. What can fans expect from a live Charlotte Rose Benjamin performance?
Well, they can definitely expect to hear new songs, and they will be listening to us working out the kinks because we are still kind of figuring out how to play these songs live, which I think could be exciting to watch. We just headlined Union Pool last month, and it was really exciting and like weird and scary to play all of these new songs that are like, you know, new songs for us to play live, a new band configuration since we're playing with a keyboard player now. And it's just kind of like a totally new genre of music, which is something that like I'm learning how to perform on stage. And I think everyone's kind of like getting comfortable. We toured Dream Tina, you know, we played that record so many times live. We could do it in our sleep after we were done. And this is just feels like we're so like awake. And I'm really excited to kind of get more in a groove. So, you know, people that are coming to the shows over the summer will see us kind of like getting into it and like figuring it out. So that'll be fun. It's fun for me for sure.
Which songs off French Resistance are maybe your favorites, or ones that even hold a special place in your heart?
Yeah, well, the album's not out yet.
Is
French
any
Resistance is just a single. So there's only two that have been released. I love the song Angel that came out today. It sounds unlike anything that I've ever made before. It almost like it feels really like Beach Boys or like the Partridge Family or something. Which is like something that I never thought I would reference. But I am so proud of it. Like I'm not hearing any music really that sounds like that that's coming out now. So it feels really cool to be doing something different. Um, and yeah, again, like super personal and kind of dark. So it feels really vulnerable to be putting it out. But you know what I keep trying to tell myself is that even though it feels scary for me, because I'm writing about like a time that I felt kind of sad and out of control. Um, I don't feel that way anymore, but there probably are people that do, and hopefully they can see themselves in it and relate to it. And that's, you know, that's always, like I said, the kind of music that I've responded to was just like women writing about their feelings. So I hope that people can relate to it.
what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you guys continue to make?
Well, thank you for saying that. I guess just thank you. I feel really lucky that I get to do this and you know, I want to just I want to keep doing it, find ways to keep doing it forever. It feels really rewarding to just be able to be making stuff all the time. That's all I've ever wanted. So, and I don't think that I would feel like I could do it if I didn't have people that I knew were going to listen to it. So thank you for that.